This might be the most exciting unboxing I've probably ever done, honestly, because this is, in my opinion, the whole start of this was like the perfect Pacific Northwest boot for me, and I think it's exactly what we created. And so it's really cool to be able to take this old school style boot. It's been around for like 125 years, and be able to take each panel and modify it and turn it into what I would want as my perfect bear hunting boot. Once again, I've never even killed a bear, so don't be mad at me yet. Wait till I kill a bear to get mad from the bear slayers. So I'm definitely taking the bear slayers on a hunt the week of the launch. So it actually ended up being perfect timing, because the week of the launch, I will be up in Idaho, top of Idaho, hunting bears. And so I'm gonna give you like day-to-day breakdowns of how they're wearing, what I'm doing with them. So that's pretty much it. So what I wanna do is just kind of show you a little bit of the progression of it. So I wanna start first with like the platform that we started on, right? The OT. So this is my very first JK boot. This is the JK OT that I did in their red dog and black. And you see, this is 6 inches. And this is where I started to feel a lot of these really heavy Pacific Northwest brands. I don't love how the 6 inch doesn't give me enough leverage over the instep to really get it to bend and fold how I want. And so that's where we started coming up with that 7-inch idea, kind of splitting the difference between an 8-inch boot and a 6-inch boot right at 7. So you're not quite as tall as 8, so that you have these huge boots that are kind of a pain to get on, and it's a little bit too high for more light use, but not so low that you're just gonna get dirt in the inside. It's not gonna give you the leverage you want. But the reason I love this style of boot and why it's my favorite Pacific Northwest boot, aside from the collaborations obviously, is because of that. Look at that, they're so flexible compared to any other Pacific Northwest boot because they taper that midsole down. So then if you look at the Bear Slayer V1s, our in-house prototypes, you can see we tried to fix that with, not to fix that, you can see some of the stuff that we tried to fix in the OT boot or the Pacific Northwest boots generally. You can see we did these little cutouts over the instep, and we've just taken them even further. Wait till you see what we've done for the like this version that's in the box. And then we had that concept of improving the counter to where I wanted more arch support in my instep, or like my arch area on the inside, the medial side, and then the outside, less bulk, less material underneath your foot, because that's the side of your foot's completely flat. And then obviously we did the box lacing system, and you can see on this V1 how we had 2 little relief cuts making 1 little flex tooth in there. Then we went to the V2. Oh, I'm already getting hot in this. Let me take this off. Getting all excited. I'm getting all sweaty for the Bear Slayers. So the V2s, you can see we did the exact same cutout here. And this was really, really good, because now you can see how we changed from doing this panel here that was the counter that wrapped all the way over, that added some extra stitching, that added some layers, and was maybe not the most efficient way to do it, but we based it off the World War I boot that we cut apart. And I liked it until we came up with this concept. And when I saw it in person, I was like, dang, that's the way to do it. For sure, that one's so cool. Because you can see on the outside, no extra patch, so you get all that flexibility and the lack of junk underneath your outside of your foot, but all that extra on the inside. And so we unboxed this a few days ago and did the video and everything, but it wasn't perfect yet. You know, it was about as close as we've ever come for a first round prototype from the brand. And then this is the part that started to get a little bit out of control, and where brands have to have a little patience with me, because you can see on this first one, we just had this one little flex tooth here with the 2 relief cuts. And after I wore these around, you can see right here, there was still clearly some need for some extra relief there. Right underneath that first flex tooth, you can see that leather bunching up, and then it even bunched a little bit up here. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take the razor blade to these things and see what's what. And so what I should have done is just start with one little cutout at a time, but I just went full bore on it, and I just completely cut cutouts in every single one of these to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 relief teeth or flex teeth. And so the goal with this was not only just to see how it looked, and it looks a little bit ridiculous, but more importantly, as I was hiking in them, I could see which one of these flex teeth was actually needed in the design. Because as I stepped over top, you can see there's a need for one right where it's at, the one below it, and the one above it. And the cool thing is that if this is a 7-inch boot, the way this will be set up is 3 eyelets, because on this side I did cut it the right way once I figured out which of these we actually needed. There'll be 3 eyelets, 3 of these flex teeth that will go eyelet, speed hook, eyelet. That's like that box lacing system. And there'll be 3 speed hooks. So it's nicely separated into thirds, nice proportions. And I just like that number of like 3 threes fits really well with like my design part of my brain. That I like how balanced it is. And you can see I've wore it quite a bit. Those flex teeth actually worked really well. And I can feel the difference even from this boot that only has 1 flex tooth to, and obviously we call them flex teeth because they're the bear slayers. These are the grizzly bear slayers, grizzly bear slayers. We gotta call them something like that. So I can feel, what I was saying is I can feel the difference between having these 3 flex teeth versus just 1. And so the difference between a boot without any of those flex teeth compared to what this boot is, it's gonna be quite a bit different. And I'm really excited to try them on and see if it actually works. And another thing that we did was I asked very nicely if JK would be willing to put an internal tag instead of the big brand on the side, because it just doesn't brand very well with this really hairy flesh out bison. And if you don't remember, the reason we did flesh out bison is because it literally looks like a grizzly bear. Like this brown color and how nappy it is and how like furry it is. It looks like a grizzly bear. It's so cool. And so this one will be called the Grizzly Bear Slayers. The next one, if we do it in the black flesh out bison, Black Bear Slayers. And then if we do their tan buffalo or bison, we'll call it Kodiak Bear Slayers. It's so cool. I freaking love it. I think that was pretty much it for my edits. And obviously we wanted to drop it 7 inches. And I think that's it. So let's get these things unboxed. Enough rambling. I can't stop carrying this knife. This Microtech, it's kind of heavy, but it's so fun. It's so freaking fun. So if you want one of these, check them out on Blade HQ because they sent us these for free. So shout out to Blade HQ. All right, let's do it. Oh, this is probably the coolest collaboration we've done yet. And it has the coolest branding. Bear Slayer's cool. I don't care what anyone says. People are like, don't call bear slayers, that's inappropriate. I'm like, you know what bears do for a living? They slaughter animals to stay alive. Calling a bear slayer is not gonna offend a bear. Calling a bear slayer is not gonna hurt anything, except it's the coolest possible name you could ever name a boot designed to go hunting in bears in. It's cool. The branding's cool. It's good. Wait till you see what we have for branding. It's so fun. So let's do it. Oh my gosh. Oh, the white stitching makes a difference. Oh, these look so cool. Oh. Look at that. That looks so sick. Look at that. Would you look at that? Oh my gosh. They smell like the heaviest glue of all time because they rushed these through for me. Oh. The white stitching makes such a big difference. Oh my gosh. These are so freaking cool. This is for sure the coolest Pacific Northwest boot of all time. I don't care what anyone says. This is for sure the coolest. Easily. Obviously, I designed the boot. But there's no other boot that's even close to this cool. It's so it's just so, it's over the top in a very functional way. It's not just over the top to be ridiculous. It's over the top because we try to fix the functionality and improve these boots. Yes! These look so good. So, oh my gosh. So you can see now, we've got a nice 3 eyelets, 3 flex teeth for the box lacing system, and 3 speed hooks. And so it's got that nice 3-3-3 balance. And it really works well with the this box lacing system because that's all the box lacing happens in these flex teeth. It's all right there. And so you get the extra flexibility for over your instep, but also for the box lacing system. I actually can't get over the white thread. That looks so freaking good. Oh my gosh. Cause like these were like good. You know, how do you beat the prototypes? White thread, because it looks so much, it pops so much more. You see more of the details. You see more of like what's actually happening on the inside of the boot. Let me show you what the features are. So we went over the box lacing system. I'll show you when we try them on how that works. The OT platform's still there. Let's see that flexibility right out of the box. You know, they don't have as much leather underneath your foot, so you're not going to get quite as much like protection from the ground. You're not going to get quite as much. I just popped that toe so hard. You're not going to get quite as much of a footprint because you don't have as much leather compressing, but it's, you know, still what, like 6 millimeters of leather through the insole. To this is that medial arch support, because we want this to hug your arch like a bear hug. Like this hugs your arch like a bear hug. That's kind of the Bear Slayer connection, because it really does. It's surprising how when you tie these, by having this tension here, when you tie that tight, it really pulls up that inside of your arch, versus the outside it doesn't, because it's not as tied directly to the bottom of the boot. 7-inch boot, look how cool it looks at 7-inch, right? So there's your 8 versus 7, and here's your 6 versus 7. See what I mean? I think it's the sweet spot for a hiking boot, for like a casual boot that you want some support. For a hunting boot, 7 inches is perfect for me. It's really not too big of a difference from 8-inch, but you feel a difference from 6-inch to 7-inch. Gotta love the flesh out Bison. You know, the beauty of the flesh out Bison is it's so soft and malleable because it's a shrunken Bison. So the hide, instead of completely stretched out, they allow it to shrink, and I think they air dry it, so you get these really interesting pebbles on the inside that create natural break points. And I'm assuming they tumble it because it's really, really soft and supple. And so you get those natural break points, and the leathers tumble during the tanning process, where like 100 hides or something put in this giant drum, and it's rolled for hours and hours. And it just slowly causes them to break in prematurely, basically. And because it has these little pebbles for break points, it just is a really, really soft leather that still is very supportive. And so to do it fully flesh out, to make it look like bear fur, it's freaking cool. You can't beat it. It's so fun. And of course we got to go with the honey Vibram outsole. You know, bears love honey. These honey Vibram outsoles are a little bit softer. They wear out a little bit quicker than like the harder black soles from Vibram, but I like them a little bit more. I like the look of them. They fit with the bear theme a little bit more. You know, bear's teeth are horrendously yellow, but they also just love honey, so honey Vibram's fun. But I like it better for like just if I'm going to use an all-around boot, that extra squish is nice, because I rarely wear through one of these V100s. They're tough to wear through, and I just don't really wear boots out. I don't have like I don't skip my feet when I walk or anything, or like skid my feet, and I don't really pivot on my feet, so I don't wear out outsoles very fast at all. So honey Vibram's perfect for me. I think that's it. So let's get these things tried on. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly the best way to lace these when it comes to the box lacing system. Okay, so you can see I lace these. When I get to the actual box lacing system, I went under so it pops out of the first eyelet, and then I went under so it pops out of the third. And I've done both. The thing that's nice about this is when you're lacing them and you box lace them, you can tuck that lace into that eyelet and it doesn't catch on stuff, and you don't have an extra bit of lace hanging around. So we're gonna try that for this boot. What am I wearing? Gotta be wearing an equally cool boot, to be honest. These Russell moccasins are so fun. They're comfortable in a really unique way. I've been wearing these a good amount. Went on a nice hike last night in them. See, proof there's dirt on my boots. These boots are comfy. Actually, they're very similar heights too. Yeah, both 7-inch-ish boots. Similar designs when it comes to like the functionality of them. These just go way over the top, and these are honestly probably a little more comfortable. So it just depends on what you want. You want something that's ridiculously comfortable or just ridiculous. That's not a competition. I just like both of them. They're both like really good little hiking boots. Okay, the final Bear Slayers. We'll see how they fit. Ooh, I love that little Pacific Northwest pop in there. Make sure you can see it. Okay, this tongue sometimes the tongues just fold naturally a lot better than others. That one folded really nice right off the bat. Okay, so I'm going to cinch that down. I'm going to cross these so I can get a nice first tying. Okay, and I'm gonna stop it before the top eyelet because you want a little extra slack. Because usually you'd have an eyelet up there, but we put a speed hook because when you undo the box lacing, instead of retying them, what you do is just take up the slack by speed hooking them up one more row. Cut my laces off real quick. This is my favorite part of these. This thing's so fast. I just go, whoa. That's like a second and a half. Yes. Oh my gosh, these are so freaking cool. These are for sure the coolest Pacific Northwest boot. Obviously I designed them, but these are so freaking cool. They're like little four-wheel drive tires. They're like a big knobby tire because you've got like the lugs on the outsole that match the flex teeth up here. It's just really like aggressive. It kind of looks like a grizzly bear, just claws digging into the dirt as you're climbing and hiking. It's freaking cool. It's like a I'm trying to remember, like try to think of what it reminds me of. It's just like it's like an all-terrain boot. It's if you took this concept and was like, all right, let's make it as like all-terrain, like four-wheel drive, as aggressive and luggy and gnarly as possible while still being wearable and cool and lightweight and flexible. That's what we made, and it's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, these are so sick. So I'll show you the lacing. So instead of, say you're on a hike, so two instances use this, when you're breaking them in and when you're on deep, deep hikes. So first, let's say you're breaking them in, you're like halfway up the trail, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much bite over my instep. All you do is you don't untie them, you just undo your speed hooks. Then you get to this point where you're down to your box lacing system, and you just give a little slack, undo them from these little speed hooks, and all you do is pull that up like this. And all you do is speed lace it back up. Perfect. It freaking works. Look at that. Okay, now let's say, all right, I'm almost to the truck. Time to lace them back up. Unlace them from the speed hooks. You don't untie them. And you just re-put them on your speed hooks. Cinch that back up, and you just put your speed hooks back on. And you've got an on-the-fly adjustment. So, I think that's pretty much everything. We've got the release on May 23rd that if you're on the limited edition email list, you get early access. And the week of, we'll send you all the information that you need, like sizing, like specs, how to wear them, me hiking in them, and then the week of the launch, I'll be bear hunting in these. Shout out to JK for doing this. The reason it's so cool is because it's one of the biggest pain in the butt boots to make of all time for these brands. And JK is really generous in being able to, and being willing to make this for us and for you guys, and especially the guys at JK that are actually making these. And so huge thank you and shout out to the JK production team and the JK crew for being willing to do this, because it's so freaking cool. I don't care what anyone says, bear slayers. Oh, so thank you guys. See ya.